Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a very good day. So this is my book and movie slash TV adaptation review of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Guys, I really like this book a whole lot. The drama, the excitement, the tension that happens during the 19th century. Who would have thought? But yes, anyways guys, let's talk about what Jane Eyre is all about. Going into the book, I thought it was this specific point in Jane Eyre's life, but not at all. We get to see Jane Eyre's backstory when she was a young girl. We get to see her employment with Mr. Rochester at Thornfield. And later in the plot, we see it kind of curve to the left. Something unexpected happened. Really great surprises and twists going on within the story. And I'm thinking, what's going on? This better be good. And it was. Just a very well-rounded story of Jane Eyre's life. Next guys, let's talk about the characters in Jane Eyre. We of course have to talk about the main character herself, Jane Eyre. Loved her as a character. She is a strong female character, which I really admired. Growing up under Aunt Reed's house with her horrible cousins, you would think her character would become really detached and cold, but as the story progresses, we see that's not the case at all. We see that her heart is open to love if people will give her the opportunity to do so, and I thought that was a really great aspect of Jane Eyre's character. She's always striving forward, moving forward. She is a very good judge of character. She's very observant. So for the most part, I didn't think there was like a great leap in character development. She was pretty spot on as a character, very admirable. Next guys, let's talk about Mr. Rochester, the love interest. I really liked him. He was brooding, he was rough around the edges, he was direct and forthcoming about his feelings. And so misunderstood? No, not really. He tells it like it is for the most part. So I really liked him for that. And I thought Mr. Rochester and Jane made a really great couple, a really great pair. Both of them were very similar in personality and characteristics, very forthright and direct. Even though there's an age gap between the two characters, both of them were in sync and were on equal footing, I felt. They had a very teasing relationship, which was really fun to read about. So there were these more lighter moments within this darker read, which I really liked, and yeah, I thought they were just great. So for the most part, I really enjoyed the characters. Lots of different kinds of characters, really interesting, mysterious characters. There's definitely a lot of mystery surrounding Mr. Rochester and his backstory, and there was a lot of tension, and it was so good. As far as the writing is concerned, there were aspects of the story that I understood very easily, and there were other aspects of the book that I had to reread a couple of times. Because it's a slower paced book, I absorbed a lot more. There's a lot of descriptive and narrative writing compared to the dialogue, and the descriptive writing made for a very vivid read. So I thought that was very good. So with that being said guys, I'm going to give Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte 5 stars out of 4. I know, yes, it was just a very good story. I wasn't expecting how crazy and dramatic and tense it was. You guys mentioned it was a dark read, but there was this supernatural element that I wasn't expecting, and it's like, whoa, if I got freaked out reading Jane Eyre, I cannot wait to read Dracula or Frankenstein. Yeah, even though it's a slower read, it's still a really good story. Very good. Next guys, I'm going to do the BBC 2006 miniseries review of Jane Eyre. Really enjoyed this adaptation, guys. We have Ruth Wilson, who plays Jane Eyre, and Toby Stephens, who plays Mr. Rochester. The miniseries, I believe, is 4 episodes long, an hour long each. Plenty of time to tell the story. Very faithful adaptation of Jane Eyre, I felt. Let's talk about the acting. It was so good. I thought Ruth Wilson hit the nail on the head portraying Jane Eyre. Ruth Wilson captured that strong-willed character of Jane Eyre. She was cool, professional, and lovely, even though she was very straight-laced and sensible. She had this great sense of humor with Mr. Rochester. As far as Toby Stephens, who plays Mr. Rochester, he was fantastic. Both of these actors, even though they're supposed to be plain and or ugly in the book, they are stunning. They're lovely to look at on screen. Yeah, he's great. He captured Mr. Rochester very well, I felt. Forthcoming, direct. Also has this dark sense of humor, and again, this teasing relationship with Jane Eyre. I thought they were spot on with Jane Eyre and Mr. Rochester's relationship, the chemistry between those two characters. So I thought the acting was really well done. As far as the plot is concerned, I felt the miniseries moved at a very brisk pace. Even though the pacing was quite quick, it still captured a lot of aspects of Jane Eyre that I really liked. So for the most part, I thought the adaptation was spot on. As far as the changes or alterations, they were mostly aesthetic things, but those are small beans. So with that being said guys, I'm going to give Jane Eyre the 2006 BBC miniseries 5 stars out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. It set the bar high for Jane Eyre adaptations. I think there's a lot of story to cover in Jane Eyre, and I think it can only be done in a mini-series. And the ending is so sweet. Yeah, it was very good. And lastly, guys, I just want to do a quick movie review on the 2011 adaptation with Michael Fassbender, I believe, and Mia. Insert her last name here. Yes, I watched that adaptation after this miniseries, and it did not go well, guys. So let's talk about the acting first. I thought the best part of the movie, my favorite part, probably biased most likely, is Mr. Michael Fassbender. I thought he was really good. He captured Mr. Rochester well with that forthcoming rough around the edges, but still had this dark humor, kind of this teasing relationship with Jane. I thought he executed that really well. And I appreciate his face a whole lot. He was very nice to look at during the film. Yeah, that was good. I like that. As far as Mia's portrayal of Jane Eyre, I didn't feel she had that fire, that strong-willed nature that Jane Eyre had. I thought she was pretty soft in my opinion. And so with her portrayal of Jane Eyre, with the fast-paced nature of the film, I didn't see that moment where Jane Eyre and Mr. Rochester kind of fell in love. It was more playful and less teasing. I don't know. A lot of the movie focused on their romantic relationship together. And because it wasn't executed quite right for me, the movie overall fell flat, which was so sad. But I thought the costume design was lovely. I thought the setting was lovely. The cinematography and direction of photography was well done. What I loved about the BBC miniseries, other than the romantic relationship between Jane and Mr. Rochester, the BBC miniseries also addressed growing up rich versus poor, growing up having beauty versus being plain. Because the film is only 2 hours long, they really focused on the romantic relationship and very lightly touched upon those other aspects of Jane Eyre that I really like. So you don't really get the full package watching the film. And the ending, oh my gosh, audible groan for me. I was like, no, why? Why did they leave this out? Why did they change this and that? It's like, no. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give the 2011 adaptation 2 stars out of 5. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Being a film, can't capture everything, but there was just a lot missing. There's a lot of story to Jane Eyre, and I think you can only really execute it in a miniseries or have it like a 3-hour-long movie. That would be fine by me too. Anyways, I'm rambling, guys. This is my book and movie/TV adaptation review of Jane Eyre. Definitely check it out, guys. It's quite the story. It's very dark, slower paced. Lots of story, but very interesting story. Very interesting characters, and again addresses lots of things other than the romantic relationship, which I thought was very insightful and thoughtful and all of that good stuff. Need to check out Wuthering Heights. I heard it's even darker than Jane Eyre, which is like, really? There's a darker story than Jane Eyre? I thought it was pretty dark. So yeah, cannot wait to check Wuthering Heights. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I will. So that's everything, guys. I hope you have a very lovely day. I will talk to you later. Have a very good one. Bye.